Well, it is back to the grind. Shouldn't say grind, it makes it seem like I don't like doing what I do, because when you enjoy the work that you do, it's really not that much of a grind. It's really something you just feel good about getting out there and doing. Well, it's quite the adventure coming back here from California. Our flight got delayed numerous times. First delay was because of mechanical issues on the airplane, which I'm thankful we didn't. You definitely want to work those issues out, but they were also doing some construction on a number of the runways, so that delayed us a few times. And while we were dealing with that, all of us were just really tired from running and ready to be home, as well as Josiah was sick. And then after that, when we got back home, everybody else started getting sick too. So it's been quite the week, and not to mention our internet has not been working, so we've been behind on our videos. But back to work here. There's so many things to do here on the farm, and I harvested arugula just the other day, but it's time to harvest arugula again. As I'm harvesting this arugula, I think back to when we got started growing here in the garden. When I first started growing out here, the land, the property itself is on a slope, and I tried to grow things on that slope, and things are compost and good soil was just getting washed away, as well as our plants whenever we got some significant amount of rain, and we do here from time to time. So I gradually started terracing out, a lot by hand, different sections of the garden to make it more suitable for growing and working in as you're trying to grow things. But overall, it's been a learning experience, growing as you're learning and learning as you're growing, I guess. And I started off with doing beds that were like 46 inches wide, and I was noticing you were just having to reach real hard, and it was really hard on your body. So real quickly, when I learned about 30-inch wide beds from a number of other farmers, that made a huge difference. And for those of you who don't know, 30-inch wide beds, when you have 30 inches, that gives you room to work in here, as well as being able to reach from side to side, being able to harvest without having to break your back. When I was getting started with the 46 inches wide beds, as some of you do as well, we're thinking, oh, I'm just gonna put more stuff in here, we're gonna grow more. But you rarely think about the efficiency and what is best for your body. So I definitely recommend 30-inch wide beds, and if you're shorter, I recommend go with 24-inch wide beds as well. I would not go over 30-inch wide beds unless you're farming with machines. Alrighty, now that the arugula is done, I'm gonna go back in the garden because I noticed there were some radishes that looked like they needed to be picked. Not expecting a lot on them because I was noticing they were sowed pretty tight, and they should have been spaced out a little bit more. We used the earthway seeder, so I got them a little closer than I would like for them to be. Let's just go see what we got though. So as you can see here, these were really tight, too close together, so these aren't quite ready. There's one in there that's a little bigger, so not too bad there. But as you can see, like right here, it's spaced out a little bit better. That one looks really good. Woo! It is definitely warmed up out here. When we were in California and it got to the 90s, mid 90s, I thought, man, it feels great here. Didn't have to worry about the humidity like we have to deal with here. Here is a whole different ball game. So anybody who lives in areas that are hot and humid, you go to areas that are hot and dry, you have to worry about just not sweating and your body cooling down naturally. But it is so much more tolerable for me, at least, to deal with going out that way. So anybody who comes from California, Arizona, those type of places, and you come here and try the heat, it is a different ball game. So I do want to warn you about that. So I'm gonna hurry up and get this done, go inside. Because it's hard to believe that it's right at fall and it's still this hot. And with them planted too closely together, you get radishes that are just small and usually don't develop well, kind of like that one. So, and they kind of get together in little clusters like that. You really don't have much on there. So, definitely not what I want. We'll definitely want meatier radishes.
What else we got in here? Careful. Is that heavy?
Yeah.
Whoa. You strong man? Okay, well, set it down. And here's another one. Thank you. Here's another piece to it. Don't just set that over there. Hold on. Let's see. Let's see what kind of tools we're gonna need.
What does that sound? Alrighty, so what do we have here? It's getting too hot for me outside. I'm trying to come inside. Are you helping mommy work? What you got there? Some oil.
Say linseed oil.
What you gonna do? What you gonna do with that? Yeah, you gonna help that help mommy put that piece together? There we go. And I actually did catch some of what he was saying, believe it or not. But you're helping mommy put together some of our new Haas tools that we have here.
And that.
Yeah.
And that.
And that too?
And that.
Whoa. So he's just a little mucusy from all of our travels and people being sick, and he's one of the last ones on the mend. But it's so neat that they're putting together one of this Haas tools. We got a number of neat tools from Haas. Just looking to upgrade. We got what you're putting together here, a wheel hoe here?
Oh, wheel hoe.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we also got a new seeder from Haas that we're going to be trying out as well. You saw some of the issues that we were dealing with the earthway seeder out there and just with the plant density. So we're still figuring that out, but we're also went ahead and we got a Haas seeder as well. So we're going to be trying that here pretty soon. So how's it coming along?
It's coming along, but I need to know if you want it set up as a cultivator, with the oscillating hoe, or with the plow.
So we have the option of this is the oscillating hoe here.
Yep.
So
what do you need to do first? Do you need to cultivate? Do you need to get rid of some weeds?
And then you got the plows right here.
The plow too, yeah.
So I want to go with the oscillating hoe first, just because out there we're really trying to get a really good hold on the unwanted plants, the weeds, and that I believe it's 12-inch oscillating hoe there. That'll really help with keeping the walkways clear, and won't be so laborious on me using the stirrup hoe to try to keep all that cleaned out for right now. So you can interchange them. You can put different attachments on there.
Yes. So you can take it out. I think all it needs is a 9/16 wrench, so that you can change all these different ones out. And then here's the cultivator teeth too. So.
Wow, that's cool. And isn't there an option for dibbler on the wheel as well? I thought I heard about that.
I was looking in the back of the instruction manual, and they have lots of cool stuff a dibble wheel, and then you can actually do a cedar attachment on this one too.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
So
So this one tool can have multiple interchangeable attachments to it. And one of the things that I realized as soon as we got the box is just how heavy it is. And the tools are made with real steel here and actual wood. It's not, this isn't plastic material, so this is made very well.
and another thing that we like, it's made in the USA.
Fantastic. So we look forward to putting these tools to work and trying them out, but we're gonna wait till it cools down outside, and then we're gonna go outside later today and put them to work. Alrighty, right here is our hose that runs from our well to supply water for our chickens and ducks. Goes down the hill that way and down the hill, or over the hill that way. But as you can see here, it's leaking. So I need to make an adjustment on it. As well as, this isn't the system that I normally use. So we're gonna move this over here. All right, the system that we normally use is over here. Our 275 gallon, whatever it is, tank here. But the problem that we were having here is this piece right here. It's attached onto here where water can come out like that. But all these ridges, whatever, you tighten it up, it's messed up, no good. So we're having to replace this whole little piece here. All right, so I had to buy a number of different pieces here to match this, to make it work. This 2-inch elbow here, whatever this one is, and then down to your hose size. Snug. Might not be able to get this to work. It is a lot more snug than I would like for it to be. Guess I could have tried to order these online. But I think they got it. Pressure on. Still may squirt out on us. Bring pressure down below. Whew, that water's a little warm. Got some more pressure. Alright. Oh, that one had a lot. It got a little wet, and since it was leaking a little bit there, we are going to put some of the tape on here, just like that. And since it's so snug, since Selah's standing right near us, let's have her do it. She's got smaller fingers. Can you do it for me?
Yep.
All right. So now that we got it on there, hopefully we didn't do it too thick, but great job. Let's see what we got. There we go. There we go. Looks like it's getting a nice, good seal. Oh, pretty good seal on there. Let's see. We got these closed. Let's see if there's any leak. Ooh, leak there. Not what we want to see. Alright, so not working. Alright. Not sure why that's happening. All that for that, man. Oh, dude, I don't know how I'm gonna get it off now. so it didn't seal on there very well. Bummer. That didn't work. Appreciate the help though, Selah. I guess we maybe need to order the piece after all. Let's see here. Looks like the grooves are slightly different. So, man. Alright, we'll just put this back onto the hose from the well. Because the leak was coming from here. And these ridges are definitely tighter than the ridges on our tote here. Man! So, alright, let's take this one off. Just attach it right back to the well water for now. I ultimately do want it coming from here because this is where I want to set up rainwater to be harvested to provide water for our animals. Sometimes you take a step forward, sometimes you take a step back, or you can take another step forward. Alright, since that didn't work, we'll just reattach it back to our well. I'm going to add some plumber's tape here, tighten this seal. So hopefully it will stop leaking. And then we'll try to order one of the pieces online for the tote. Bummer. Just trying to do some of these tasks closer to the shade as it cools down. Whenever it decides to cool down, what, it's like almost 5 o'clock and it's still pretty hot out here. Try it again. Much better. Alrighty, it's still leaking a little bit, but we're out of tape and this is what it is right now. We'll just have to worry about it later. I'm just going to take a break here. And the leaves are beginning to change in different trees around here, but the temperature has not changed very much at all. It's still in the mid 90s and low 90s, and today it's been no different. And it's 5 o'clock and it's still 90 degrees here, and the humidity has been up there as well. Definitely missed the lower humidity out there in California. We also haven't had rain here in over a month now, so that's pretty ridiculous. I thought that right before we left for California we were going to get some rain maybe from the hurricane, but that didn't happen, and we hadn't had any rain before that or after that in quite some time. Also, many of you have been asking about the chicken that I ran over before we left for a trip. Felt bad about that, so if you haven't seen that video, make sure you check it out to see how it happened. But I thought that, thought the chicken was gonna die, especially while we were gone. We had people coming and checking on her, making sure she had the feed that she needs. She's been protected, and came back and she was actually doing better than I thought. And she's just hanging out right here. She's actually moving around a little bit better now, standing up. She really wasn't standing up much before, but she's definitely getting around, eating and drinking, and we didn't have time to even think about trying to process her or anything before we left, and not necessarily in the need now, and she doesn't look like she's in any pain, so we'll just let her hang out for a while and see what happens. And we definitely won't put her back with the other chickens, just because they'll beat up on her with her being injured, but we'll take care of her, and maybe just let nature take care of itself too. But speaking of the chickens, I have a new water that I want to add to the chickens that we have at the top. While we were gone, we had some problems with our water, and thankfully my father-in-law caught it, so it was just leaking pretty bad, so we're going to change it out. So this is the water that we're going to switch to here, and I'm not sure if you can tell. Down here is where the water was just spewing out and overflowing. What happened is we lost the screen, the shield over here. It keeps the float intact and from just, because put this rock here to keep the float from turning, because when it turns, the water will just keep gushing out. I have it turned off up there now temporarily, but it will just keep going once this float. So without that shield covering it right here, that float will just keep the water will just keep flowing, and the float won't stop it. So we're just gonna go ahead and change it out. because that's just the way it goes here in the farm. And anybody who has kids knows this too. Things just get missing and you're like, where's this? I don't know. It's just the way it goes. Definitely kind of messy here with the water up here. On here. Okay, so I'll turn it on. Just about full. You're taking a little sip there real quick. Like that nice cold water. And that flow should stop it here any minute now. And bang, did its job. Alrighty, so that's done. At least made progress on something. But there's quite a few flies over there just from it being wet, muddy, and they're pooping right there. So I have some mulch in that area tomorrow morning just to clean it up and sanitize it a little bit. But other than that, definitely glad we switched out the water. So hopefully that will reduce the chances of any more overflow spillage. But it doesn't look like it's getting any cooler outside. We still got to get some more work done in the garden. We're just probably just gonna have to tough it out. Man. Right now, I am so thankful that this portion of the garden is shaded right now. That doesn't always work for when we want to grow stuff for longer months because of the trees, which I plan to take down at some point. But right now, those trees are a nice little blessing to me, just to keep me a little bit cooler since it's so hot outside right now. But it's so exciting that these are our first beds here on this farm that we're doing the no-till method on. I've done it in the city when we did big raised beds in the city where we lived before. This is the first time I've been able to do it here. And I think one of the biggest reasons I've been able to do it here is just because of all the soil and compost that I had to add in making these beds. So I did that about 2 or 3 months ago. It was a lot of work because this area was a lot more sloped. So I brought a lot in, and it's so much looser than a number of other areas. We're not exactly no-till yet. We're gradually doing less and less tilling, but we're doing what we can, what we have, just because this clay is challenging to deal with. But keep adding some more here in, and then we're gonna go ahead and get ready to plant in these beds. Super exciting. Alrighty, compost added. And for those of you who are wondering, what's the difference color? Why is some darker than other? Well, I was working from 2 different compost piles, and the darker color, more black color, is from a compost pile that is mainly leaves. It's like a leaf compost. And then the darker is just a blend of various things. So definitely trying to add organic matter to these beds, just to continue to add to the loose aerated soil that I'm trying to build here, so that way we till less, and hopefully we won't have to till these beds as long as we manage them correctly. So we're going to mix this all in, and then we're ready to use our wheel hoe to, oh, and speaking of that, man, just remember that I asked Lacie to put the blade on the stirrup hoe in for the wheel hoe. So I actually need to tell her to change that so we'll be able to make rows for planting our seed. Let's mix this up and then we'll tell her. I really like this Gorilla card, and in combination with the square buckets it works really well. 6 square buckets are what fit in the gorilla cart. It is also 6 buckets that take to add compost to a 50-foot bed, so works out pretty well. Wheel hoe all ready to go? Did you put it together? Looking pretty good. Thank you for putting it together for me.
You're welcome.
Look at there. Thank you for helping Mommy. You had to put that stain on there. What is that, an oil?
It's linseed oil.
And I made a big mistake. Well, not really a big mistake. I want to see if you could change the blade on here. And that way we can get to show you how easy it is to change it.
Yeah, it's pretty easy to take off. It's just a 9/16 nut right here. Just loosen them up.
What we're doing is we're taking off the oscillating hoe, which is the blade that's on like the stirrup hoe that I typically use, the hand one. And we're gonna go ahead and put on the blades here. And those blades are, what are those blades called again? I forgot.
Cultivating teeth.
Yes, those blades are called cultivating teeth. Right, Micah? And we're gonna try to use the cultivating teeth to make farrows in our beds. So that way we can go ahead and sow seeds in there. I haven't been a huge fan of the plant spacing when we've used the cedar for when we've been using it to sow arugula. It's spaced out way too much. I really like for the arugula to be spaced really, really tight, so that way we can get maximize our harvest on it. We're not looking to grow huge, big plants. We want the leaves to be small in the arugula. Our restaurants and customers really enjoy that. So do I, frankly.
You just want 3 on here?
Yep. Excuse me. So, yep.
Do you want it all the way?
Yep. Well, that didn't work so well. What if we could put the plow on there? What do you think about that? Definitely easier to use than our older wheel hoe as far as making the furrows. Alrighty, I wasn't a huge fan of how that went. I was only able to get 3 rows in this bed. So you usually get 4 rows in each bed. So we're gonna try taking off one of the plow blades to see if that makes it a little bit easier to get that 4th row in. So we'll try again. So this is just some challenges we're facing as I'm trying to go no-till in this bed. There's some areas in this bed that I didn't realize there still have some tough clay. So as I'm hitting it with the Haas wheel hoe, it's shifting me to the right because we just had the 1 blade on because 2 blades was making furrows too wide, so we weren't able to get as many rows in. Then we bring back our old wheel hoe and it just doesn't have the power that the Haas has. So that's something we have to figure out. So guess you're just gonna stay tuned and see how we figure this out.